Keepers nervous, strikers, they'll deliver. Crowd roars erupted, you can feel the quake. 80,000 voices.
Hello there, Nigerian football fans and football fans everywhere. You're welcome to the channel. So apparently, Chelsea have received a huge transfer boost in sort of a pursuit for Viktor Gyokeres. Now, admittedly, I can't say for sure that that is concrete because any name that isn't Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein, for me, is not 100% accurate. Even for Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein, they do get transfer callings or transfer dealings wrong, transfer news wrong every now and again, but you know that the closest to being accurate. And you know, once you hear Fabrizio Romano's here we go, it's all but certain, except certain things change, you know, last minute. So this is not from David Ornstein, it's not from Fabrizio Romano. So I'll just give my 2 cents about Viktor Gyokeres, the Swedish Sporting Lisbon striker. He's been on excellent form, you know, from Coventry, moved to Sporting Lisbon, and has been on super form, you know, for Sporting Lisbon. And you know, after Ruben Amorim left, the present Manchester United coach left, people were like, oh, Ruben Amorim is leaving. He's sort of like the Gyokeres whisperer. So who knows what's going to happen, you know, to the Swedish striker. But he's grown in leaps and bounds. He's kept on scoring goals, you know, game in, game out. So what do I think about his link to Chelsea? What I think about him to Chelsea, if indeed these links, you know, become true or that, you know, have some real substance to it. For me, I think he is a better striker than Chelsea have at the minute. I think he's way better than, you know, Nicholas Jackson. So 100% would take him over Jackson as a striker. And then, like I've said in previous videos, have Nicholas Jackson play out wide as a left winger. But we all know my number one choice is Victor Osimhen, because I just feel he is the complete striker. Pace. Gyokeres has pace. Power. Gyokeres has power, but in a different way. Victor Osimhen can pin defenders down, which is something Chelsea sorely needs. I don't think Gyokeres can really do that. Can Gyokeres face the bump and grind that you face in the Premier League? You know, especially when you're playing for a top club. While he is strong, I think Victor Osimhen is more suited to that. So, but that being said, if Chelsea has said, okay, Blue Co, Clear Lake have said, we are unable to get Victor Osimhen, his salary or whatever reason, do I feel that's just a huge excuse, you know, not to sign, not to sign the player, or rather a PR move to say, okay, we don't have the money at the minute, maybe we'll finish in Champions League spots, then we'll then be able to afford someone like a Victor Osimhen. So if for any reason they say, okay, we're going for Viktor Gyokeres, I wouldn't be opposed to it because I think he's a top level striker. He is an actual out and out number 9, and obviously for me he's way better than, you know, Liam Delap, and way better than Nicholas Jackson. So no issues here if indeed Chelsea are looking to go for him, or Chelsea are really in concrete talks with him. But like I said, if it isn't David Ornstein, if it isn't Fabrizio Romano, then you can't take it to the bank. But let's see how that develops. Now we switch over quickly to Nigeria-related news. So the Nigerian Super Eagles, you know, we talked about replenishing the team, replacing old players, replacing players that are not performing, having players come on to the team that can provide competition, you know, for players you know, that are already in the national team, because you need players to look over their shoulder and see someone ready to take their place. So I think that's something that can really help the team overall. So speaking about that, we've talked about before Afolayan. He plays for St. Pauli in the German Bundesliga. He, I think, some time ago has chosen to play for Nigeria over, you know, the English Three Lions. And apparently there are reports that he's yet to receive a call from Chelle. Now for me, the 27-year-old, I think he's a decent player. I don't think he's super world class, but I think he's decent. He has some good traits, good attributes about him, the usual pace, and he has an eye for goal as well, especially from those wide positions. So for me, one I always say is don't leave talent on the table. If he's willing to play, if he wants to play for Nigeria, this Unity Cup presents a veritable opportunity for players, that you want to give it a chance, you want to give a shot, you want to see what they're made of, you want to see if they can, carry the weight of wearing the green, white, green of the Nigerian Super Eagles. So I wonder what your thoughts are on the player. Do you think do you think the NFF, Eric Chelle should say, okay, you said you want to play for Nigeria, let's take care of the necessary paperwork and get you ready to play for the Super Eagles? Or do you feel maybe you think it's not good enough, or your eyes are on someone else, maybe like an Ethan Wanderers, for instance? But for me, I think don't ever leave talent on the table. If you want to play for Nigeria, as opposed to Murphy at Newcastle that doesn't want to play for Nigeria, so that one is gone, it's off the book for me. Afolayan wants to play, so you get him in this Unity Cup. It's around the corner. I think it's May 28th of May. And you see what he can do in those sort of tournaments. So those are my thoughts and opinions on that one. I want to know what you think as well. Let me know in the comment section. And then yet another dual national that I would love to play for the Nigerian Super, that I would love for the Nigerian Football Federation to integrate into the team. He is, we all know, he plays for Chelsea, TOSIN Adaraboyio, not Adarabioyo. I don't know where people see the additional YO to go that way. TOSIN Adaraboyio, former Man City player, then Fulham, then eventually joined Chelsea as a free agent this season. He's played a lot of games this season. I think, in my opinion, not because of his Nigerian heritage, I think he has been fairly decent in the game time. He's gotten, and I think he's been slightly treated unfairly, in my opinion. So I wonder what other people would think about that. But TOSIN Adaraboyio, I think, is someone that the Nigerian Football Federation, that Eric Chelle should begin to look at. In a recent interview on a podcast, he said that he eulogized and really spoke in glowing terms about his Nigerian roots. So that shows you that he really identifies with his affinity to the popular black nation, the most popular black nation in the world. So that's good to hear. That's good to know. He talked about enjoying Nigerian food and all that stuff. Well, that's good. Even people who are not from Nigeria enjoy Nigerian food. So that's not a sign of anything either here or there. But I want him because he has what Nigeria needs. Because for me, I always look at quality. Does this player have the quality? 1. 2, is the player willing to play for the country? 3, you go ahead to convince the player to play for the country. You go ahead to sell the project of the country, especially if the player is a dual national. So back to TOSIN. I think he has the quality. He's 6'5", I think, if I'm not mistaken. He's 6'5", so he's really tall. He's a good passer of the ball, in my humble opinion. He's good technically, and he's someone that, will sacrifice himself in terms of showing himself in front of shots. And we know William Ekong is not getting any younger. For sure, 100% he's not getting any younger. He's already said that this AFCON, would be his last African Combination Tournament. And this World Cup, if Nigeria indeed qualifies for the World Cup, possibly could be his last tournament. So you should be looking for replacements now. You don't have to wait till the next AFCON qualifiers, then you start running helter-skelter, for replacements. And as well, even if Nigeria qualifies for the World Cup, even if he's fit and ready to go to the AFCON, he is 36 after all. When you get to 36, 37, as a footballer, except you're Thiago Silva, you're susceptible to injuries. Not because you don't train well, not because you don't protect your body well, but that's just it. Wear and tear. For the time will be tapping on your shoulders. So for me, if you have someone like William Ekong in your team, you have to prepare for the inevitable. He may get injured, not hoping that he does. You need a replacement. Even if all things work perfectly, comes to the end of the AFCON, Nigeria gets to the World Cup and he retires, then you need a replacement. Igor Ogbu is a solid defender, robust defender. I think should be in Nigeria Super Eagles starting lineup. But I think TOSIN brings a different quality to the defense. And I think pairing him with Igor Ogbu could be something special going into the future for Nigeria. And again, he is very experienced. He is 27. So he's not another youngster, and you need So you need an experienced defender that the young players can learn off of, or at least have someone's experience that you can, get solid opinions on while the game, is going on. Because I believe in football, you need to have leaders at every part of the pitch. You need to have a leader in goal, a leader in centre back position, a leader in midfield, a leader definitely in the attack, and then you obviously would have your out and out captain with the captain and band. So for me, TOSIN, I think, is a player that the Nigerian Super Eagles, the NFF, Eric Chelle, Super, whoever need that sports commission, that has to speak to the player, should go ahead and do the needful, to get him to play for the Nigerian Super Eagles. If they need Ademola Lookman to do that business, I'm sure he will do it. If they need Alex Iwobi to do that business, I'm sure he will do it. If they need the Victor Osimhen to pick up the phone and call him, I'm sure that will be done. So that's my opinion on this news items. I want to know what you think. Thanks for watching the channel and for supporting the channel. Please subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified each time a video like this comes on the channel or when a video goes on live stream. So like I always say, spend the rest of your day, stay well and stay blessed. Bye-bye.